Good evening, folks. Do forgive me. I've got some bloody infection. Right, these are ZIPPO hand warmers, and these are proper ones. And they are, and there's only one word for it, garbage. Yeah, so very briefly, this is packed with cotton wool. There's a felt block up here, and he says looking for his catalyzer, which you can't find. Here we are. Here's the catalyzer, and inside here is a piece of it's like a wool material. Now it's supposed to be platinum, or I think it's palladium, but as I understand it, a lot of the Chinese ones are iron, as iron is one of the metals that will actually react. If you don't know how these work, very simply, okay, you fill this with petrol or ZIPPO lighter fluid, and before anybody shouts at me, I've been trying this stuff, okay, Clipper lighter fluid, and I shall tell you now, it just does not work the same as the ZIPPO fluid. It does not work the same, and it should be the same, but it isn't. So the problem with these is that they go out, they won't light, they sort of run for 2 or 3 minutes, they go out, and you've got to mess about. The new catalyzer elements are about £7 a piece, and again, I think they're iron, I don't think they're platinum. At least the Chinese copies aren't. So the plan today, and I have already done one, and that's still, yeah, that's toasty warm. So the plan today is to show you what the deal is with these and how you can improve the performance substantially. So to do this, you need, this is carbon felt. Now it isn't vital that you do this step, but what we're doing with this is we're replacing the cotton wool padding in here. And then you need these platinum bright embers. Now I've had to buy these from Amazon, they've come from America, and they've cost me about 40 quid. And there's more in there than I am ever going to use in my life. So I'm going to put some on eBay. Just enough to sort of do a catalyzer. So I'll put those on eBay, so if you want to buy some, you can do. So without further ado, the first thing we have to do is destructive, because we've got to get all of the material out of here, and these have got 2 bars across them. So I think what they do is they fill them, and then this is pushed into here. There's probably some adhesive or something, or it might just be super tight, and it seals it. So the first thing we're going to have to do is get the felt block out, get the spring out, and just widen this up. So as I say, it is destructive, this. But the results are much better. Okay, and I'll just get my file on that. Now, the next thing, try to get, let's use my file here. There is a felt block, and I'm sorry for sniffling, I really am, I'm just not very well. So, yeah, just see if we can just file those bits of swarf off. Shout out to the Swiss Army knife here, superb. Okay, and now let's see if we can remove the felt block. And there is also a spring in here, which seems to just provide, from what I can tell, it just acts as a funnel almost to let the fuel into it. So okay, So that's the spring out. See if we can get this felt block out. I'm trying not to damage this. You'll see why shortly. But it sometimes really doesn't want to play ball. There we go. Yes, it's catching on one of those sharp little shards. There we go. So that's the felt block out. Okay, so then we can remove this cotton wool, and there is a surprising amount of it, to be fair, and this is all covered in fuel because I've been trying to get these to work for months and months and months properly, and I'm sick of spending money on the replacement catalyzers, because they just don't last. They do not last at all. So I think we are... Oh no, there's still some more in here. So it is quite tightly packed, and you can see there's fuel all over. I don't suppose, I'm going to just file that down. I don't suppose it's critical if there's a little bit left, but I'd rather... Oh. Let's just get you filed. Okay, so do excuse me. Okay, so can we get the rest of it out? Will it play ball? Yeah, I can see it there. I can definitely see that there's still some in. Oh, okay. Right, I don't know what that is. Unless it's held. If it's held, if that wadding is actually within that, and that's just like a seal. Okay, so I'm not going to rip that out. So, first thing we'll need is this. This is carbon felt. And you want to cut strips approximately the width of the ZIPPO, and I know from experience I'll need two pieces, so about that, yeah, looks pretty good. Let's do the same with the other. 1, 2, 3, and then using a implement of your choosing, start to insert this in and try, and I do try to aim to get it all the way across, horizontal, if you will. Try to get it laying horizontally. And we'll go in from the other way. Okay, another one. Okay, push that down. A bit more. And then, and I think and the way that's feeling, that is sufficient. So all that does, that just acts as a fuel reservoir. So just tamp it down gently. Okay. So where, oh good grief, have I lost it? That piece of felt I had a minute ago, it's disappeared. Good grief. I must have knocked it off. Oh, there it is. Okay. And then what I did, I took my knife. You see the burnt top section here? Let me show you this. Okay. So I'm just cutting the top damaged bit of that, and that can now go back into there. Okay, and that is that bit done. Now I really haven't bothered with the spring. I've had another idea for this, which is to use it to actually hold the catalyzer, but I'm not sure it'll work. So just for the moment I'm just going to put that to one side. Okay, so there we go, filled. So that's the ZIPPO filled with packing. So now we'll take our fuel, just try and get that, there we go, so it's just nice and level at the top. There we go. Okay, take your fluid, and hopefully just for the purposes of this demonstration, I'm not going to completely fill it. And that should be a good amount of fuel. Okay. Right. Take the catalyzer. And this is some I tried earlier on before I sort of redid everything else. And it still wouldn't light. And I am still convinced that that clipper lighter fluid is just not suitable. Okay, so there we go. Okay, take your, that's where it come from, and I got it off of Amazon, about 42 quid, so it's a lot of money. But it isn't much in the grand scheme of things when you consider that the replacement catalyzers are about £7 a piece. You know, so 2 of them over a year. And so anyhow, so take your catalyzer, insert from the top, again just trying to make sure that it goes right to the ends, and the more of this you have, the hotter your hand warmer will go. Okay, so we just want it to be, there we go. Okay, just push that bit up there a little bit, there. Okay, now put that onto there. Now I just give it a bit of a squeeze, but ideally you should leave these for 3 or 4 minutes just to allow the fumes from the petrol to permeate into the catalyzer. So what happens is the fumes are just obviously, as they evaporate, they go up through the catalyzer. The catalyzer induces a chemical reaction which causes the excess fuel vapour to burn, but not with a flame. So now very, very, and that's pretty much as it needs. Okay, that's it. You don't want this thing flaming, because if the catches fire, it will destroy the catalyzer, and then you just have a firebomb in your hands. So stick the lid back on. Is that? Yeah, ow, yeah, that is immediately now getting hot. And they take 5 or 10 minutes to work, but I can tell you now that and if I just dim the lights, I don't know whether this will work. Can you see that? You see it glowing? Okay. That's it. That is now lit and will now burn until that fuel is exhausted, and I can feel that warming up. And that is how you turn one of these from being a useless pitter into an actual proper hand warmer. Bit of effort, bit of expense, but there you go. How to, what's the word I'm looking for, mod and make work a ZIPPO hand warmer. Yeah, that's definitely getting warm now. So I hope you enjoyed that, folks. As I say, I've been at these for a couple of years, trying to find out, trying to get them to work. I bought some of the cheap Chinese catalyzers. They're iron, they're rubbish, they last once if you're lucky. Hopefully this stuff, this ember stuff, will last me forever. But yeah, look, as you can see, that's working beautifully with absolutely no flame. Ow, ow. Yeah, don't touch it, it's hot. Right, there you go, folks. Thanks for watching. Take care.